Welcome back to Cathedral Chats. And, as we continue to enter into that month of Mary, it always reminds me of, those books about our Blessed Mother that, I love to go back to read. Every year at the end of May, I always start my consecration to Mary and, go back to those readings and how fruitful they can be. And even picking up some of other St. Louis de Montfort's books, Secret of the Rosary, Secret of Mary, and how little of those beautiful gems are. And it's a reminder of, to me, how important it is to have, reading in our life of faith. So often we can put reading off. A lot of the saints and spiritual writers say, we should always have certain books always open at the ready. How beautiful it is, for us to dive deeper into that faith, the deeper knowledge of God, but also how powerful it is for our prayer life. We have like images of our Blessed Mother, to help open up our imagination to pray. When we behold this, a beautiful statue, it can help us to want to go to pray to our Blessed Mother. And, when we have some good spiritual reading, it helps us to pray, not only while we're reading, but, through the rest of the day. We can bring those little gems that we get from that reading, and we can be pondering it all day, bringing it to the Lord, asking Him to help reveal more. And we don't have to go and, pick up a book and read, a whole chapter. We don't have to read, the whole book. We don't have to just plow through it, even if it's just a little bit at a time. One of my favorite authors, Cardinal Manning, in his book, The Eternal Priesthood, he talks about how, important it is for a priest to be reading all the time. And he says, even if you just read for 5 minutes a day, how many books you could get through in a year. And, for our spiritual reading, we don't have to, read a whole book. We can even stop and go on to the next. But just a little bit of reading can do so much for us a day. And even if it's the same book over and over again, St. Francis de Sales read, Spiritual Combat, every day. He just allowed it to keep, and he kept going because, he never got to the bottom of that well. If you have a book that continues to feed you, you can keep going back. You don't have to, go to those books that everybody else says you have to, but find one that really speaks to you and that allows you, to enter more deeply into that prayer. And don't take it as like, I have to get through it at a certain time, but even if it's just a little here, a little there, allowing it to speak to you. I think a beautiful example can be, something like, a diary of a saint and just, reflecting on those little aspects of their life and, how it can relate to us. Writings on our Blessed Mother and, growing deeper in that love of her. Some other topic, I love reading books on the Eucharist. And every time I, go to Mass or go to pray in front of the Blessed Sacrament, it helps me to dive further deeper into that. So, during this month of Mary, maybe it's finding a book to help you pray and dive deeper into a relationship with her. Maybe it's finding another book, but just remembering that, those books, it's another tool to help us to dive deeper into our faith, deeper into our prayer, and allowing the Spirit to work within us. God bless.